Hey, this is Dave from Unipro, and this is episode number 5 in the Millionaire From Scratch series where I'm building a brand new business from scratch and taking it to $1 million per year. Now, this episode is all about outsourcing. I'm going to be outsourcing the most difficult part of this business. And if you're interested in outsourcing any part of your business, this episode is going to be extremely helpful for you. So let's dive in. In the first 4 episodes of the Millionaire From Scratch series, we covered a lot of ground so far. We figured out what our dream business idea was all about. Then we generated a whole bunch of buzz, a whole bunch of demand for this new business idea. And then, very importantly, we made a bunch of sales. Before we went to work actually building the product or the service, we made sales. We sold the idea. In fact, in this case, we sold $33,962 before we even had a product or service. This was all just based on a business idea. And if you haven't seen any of these previous episodes, you got to go get caught up. So check out the links in the description. Go check those out and then come right back here. Now we're sort of stuck. We got a little bit of a problem. We had this idea. We got people excited about it, generated this buzz, made over $30,000 in sales, and now we've got to deliver. And if you remember from a previous episode, we created what's called an offer stack. So remember, we're figuring out how to solve someone's problem, and you can be doing this too. Any problem that you want to solve. In this case, we're helping people get more engagement on social media. And we took a bunch of components that could potentially go into your offer. And in this case, we chose 4, and maybe you have different components for your offer. These are the 4 that we landed on. We're going to develop a software. We're going to create some education. We're going to build a community. And then we're going to add on top of that some done-for-you services. And when we put these 4 components together and put these in our offer stack, I feel really confident that we've got a compelling offer that's going to get a lot of people really interested in this product or this service. But now we got to build it. We promised those people who pre-bought into this idea that we'd be delivering in 52 days.
I promise you it will be worth it.
So we got a lot of work to do. And whether you're in crunch time with your business like I am, you got some sort of deadline that you're working towards, or maybe you just have too much on your plate. Maybe you're trying to balance the work of a 9-to-5 job with starting a new business, or maybe your business includes some sort of components that you don't have expertise in creating. Whatever situation you're in, I guarantee at some point you're going to want to outsource parts of your business. And in this case, it was certainly true for me. I've got 52 days to have this product ready. I need some help. And so I'm going to walk you through the steps that I took to find that help and to build this business fast. When I go back over to my offer stack here, I'm looking at these 4 components that I'm going to include in my offer here. I've got software, education, community, and done-for-you services. These 3, education, community, and done-for-you services, these are things that I've provided in the past. I have some expertise in these, but this one, software, I've never built software. I'm not a software developer. I don't have time to go out and learn how to code and actually build something. This is the one that's most important for this offer, and this is the one that I need the most help with. And so this is where I'm going to start. And you can do the same. Take a look at what's in your stack and say, which of these components do I need help with first? Step number 1 is to go and find some expertise, and I'll show you how I did that. I went over to 2 websites. The first website is Upwork.com, and here's a place where freelancers go. They have expertise, and they're offering their services for contract jobs. And I went on to Upwork.com and I simply did a search. And here's the search that I did. I did software developer. And then I also wanted people who had some expertise in developing for Facebook. And you can do this too. You can look for any type of help on Upwork. You can look for people who can design websites. You can look for graphic designers. You can look for people who can build courses. You can look for people who are copywriters. You can look for anyone here.
We'd love to have you.
I'm looking for a software developer who has expertise in Facebook. I'm going to give you a little pro tip here. I like to check this box that says rising talent. These are people who have shown a high level of expertise on Upwork, so their past jobs have been successful. They've gotten good reviews from people who they've already worked with, but they haven't been on the platform long enough to command an extremely high price. If you were to check top rated plus, you're gonna get some good talent. You're just gonna pay a lot more for it. And in this case, we're building a business from scratch and we've got no budget, just that $33,000 that we earned from pre-selling. So I'm working under a budget here. And so once I've done this search, I can go and take a look at all these different software developers who have some sort of expertise in Facebook. I can take a look at their profile. I can look at their reviews. I can see what projects they've worked on in the past, and I can make a short list of people who I might be interested in working with. So this is spot number 1 that I'm going to use to find expertise. Here's the second source. I'm going to go over to Fiverr.com, and maybe you're familiar with Fiverr, and I'm just going to repeat the same process. I'm going to go into the search bar and I'm going to search for software developer. And when I search for software developer, I'm going to get a bunch of gigs like this. Now, Fiverr is a little different than Upwork because on Fiverr, freelancers are posting specific gigs. So they might say, I will design and develop MLM software with a website. And then they have the starting price here. Well, I've got a unique project. So my project probably won't fit into these different Fiverr gigs, But what this does allow me to do is go over to any of these gigs and then take a look at who the seller is. So I can go over here to this particular gig and I can take a look at this seller here. And I can go down to the contact me button. And now I can reach out through the Fiverr platform and get in touch with this person who's providing a gig that's somewhat similar to the project that I want fulfilled. Now I'm gonna give you another little pro tip here. I'm gonna go back to my Fiverr search. When I'm doing this search, I like to turn this on, Pro Services. And you can see here when I hover over this, it says this is vetted professionals, verified for quality and service. Why do I do this? For me on Fiverr, I do find that the quality level is a little bit lower than on Upwork. So I want to work with sort of the cream of the crop on Fiverr if I'm going to find contractors or freelancers through Fiverr. So that's a little tip you might want to try out as well. That's step number one. Now, step number two is to reach out to the people that you find that look like they could actually help you, that they might become part of your team. So in this case, I'm going to go back to this example that I have here and I clicked on the contact me button and I'm going to reach out to this freelancer here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to type a message. This is the exact message that I used. I said, hey there, I have a web development project that I was wondering if you'd be able to help with. Here's a description. And then notice this, very important here, I dropped a Loom video and I say, let me know your thoughts. Thanks, Dave. Well, why did I drop a Loom video instead of just describe what the offer is or what the gig is, what I'm looking for help with? I've learned from working with a lot of freelancers over the years that visual examples are hugely important. You might be working with people who speak a different language natively than you do. You might be working with people who use different terminology. Perhaps, as in the case of me right now, I'm looking for someone to build me a software. I don't speak software developer language, and so I need to show these software developers what exactly it is that I'm looking for. So in this case, I've got this Loom video. If you've never used Loom before, just go over to loom.com and you can record yourself filming little videos, sharing your screen or showing your face that make it very easy to give a visual of what it is that you want accomplished. And so in this case, you can see I've got this little 3-minute video that shows some ideas from different websites that I've seen, different ideas that I've had, showing these developers exactly what my goal is. And this is true for you. Maybe you're getting graphics design, maybe you're getting a logo design, maybe you're getting a course design. And here's an example. If I was getting a course designed, instead of just telling the freelancer what I want accomplished, I would send them an example. I would say, I like the color scheme like this. I like the organization of these lessons. I like the teaser offer over here. Or maybe if you're getting a website designed, you might send a website and say, hey, I like how this is animated text right here. As I scroll down, I like how these objects pop in. So you're giving visuals so that it's very clear exactly what your expectations are. That's another pro tip that's going to make this process a whole lot easier. And as I'm doing step number 2, reaching out to these freelancers, my goal is to find 10 who may be qualified for this job. And from those 10, I'm going to carry on a conversation and see who communicates well and who's responsive and who seems confident, who's got some expertise doing something similar to the job that I'm looking to have done. And from there, I like to shortlist it down to 5. And for those 5 freelancers, I actually hopped on a Zoom call. I conducted an interview. And on those interviews, there are 3 things that I was looking for. First is communication. I'm looking for someone who I can communicate very easily with. The second is a high-level understanding of the project. So I'm looking for someone who's really read everything I've sent. They've watched the videos, they've looked at the examples, they clearly understand the project. That shows me that they're serious about it, that they really want this job. And then number 3, I'm looking for someone who understands the urgency. In this case, I've got 52 days to build this software. I need someone who understands that this is a priority. It can't be a side project that may or may not get done. Now, in my example, I went through those 5 interviews and 2 of the freelancers that came back, they said, Dave, sorry, but what you're asking for is impossible in 52 days. Okay, so those 2 people got crossed off my list. I was left with 3 freelancers who said they could do the work. And the cheapest of those bids was $30,000. Now you remember when we started Millionaire From Scratch, our goal was not to spend $1 of our own money. And so far we've raised about $33,000. So I'm working with a $33,000 budget. So $30,000 as the cheapest bid, this was really pushing my budget. I'd only have $3,000 left for everything else that I need to build in this business. And to be honest with you, that made me feel uncomfortable. I didn't like that position. So here's what I did. The freelancer who put in the bid of $30,000, we negotiated. And we negotiated a contract that looks like this. Instead of me paying them $30,000 up front, we agreed that they would get a percentage of revenue for the first 18 months that the software is launched. Now, if you think about this, this is a risk for both parties. For them, it's a risk because they might go to the work of building the software, hand it over to me, and maybe I won't sell it, and then they won't make much money at all. It's also a risk to me because they could go build the software, and when I start selling it, it could explode, and they could end up getting paid way more than $30,000. So there's risks on both sides, but we felt comfortable enough to make the agreement and go forward. And this leads us into step number 4, which is actually hiring your contractor. Now, if you're hiring for a small job like a logo or web design, you can just go through Upwork or go through Fiverr and hire someone through a gig or a job offer right on those platforms. But if you're getting into higher level, more expensive jobs, you may want to create your own contract. And that's certainly what I wanted to do. So I'll show you over here. I created a contract, and you can see this contract goes through all the details of who owns the software and what the commitment is, and exclusivity, goes through all the details. Now, you might look at this and think, okay, I don't know how to write a contract. I'm not a lawyer, and nor am I. So where did I get this from? There are all kinds of websites where you can get contract templates, and I'll show you a really great one. There's one called Panda Doc, and if you go over to Panda Doc, you can search for the type of contract that you're looking for. So in this case, I'm looking for a software development agreement, and this can give you a starting place. So you can take that template and then just modify it to fill in your own detail and make it relevant for the job that you're hiring for. So this is really exciting. At this point, I just hired a software developer to build this software. Well, I can work on the education, the community, and the done for you service piece of my offer stack. And the same can be true for you. If you're time crunched, offload your business. If you don't have expertise in something, offload your business. Let someone who's an expert do it for you. So that's where we're at with the Millionaire From Scratch series. In 52 days, we're going to launch this product to the world. And I'll tell you, there's going to be some chaos along the way. So I'm excited to share what those next steps look like. It's time for me to deliver. And hopefully this gives you some ideas of how you can launch your business or how you could speed up your business as well. If you got any value or any ideas from this video, just give it a like. And if you have any comments or questions about this step, about outsourcing your business, go ahead and post those in the comments below. I'm happy to help out. I'm really excited to share the next steps because we got some twists and turns coming in the Millionaire From Scratch series. That'll come in the next video. So again, if this was helpful, give it a like, drop your comments and questions below. I really hope you're getting value from this series, and I'll see you in the next episode.